Hey, Mr. Rose class. It's Julia, Lana, Dan, and Elijah, and we're here to discuss the Industrial Revolution and Karl Marx and his communist views. First, let's talk about the Industrial Revolution. This revolution started because of a few things. First off, the agricultural revolution led to many families being able to afford food due to the surplus. With the extra money, many families began to purchase manufactured products, which before was a luxury. Next, many technological changes happened, such as the invention of the steam engine or the spinning jenny. The Industrial Revolution was started by the British. There were several advances in machinery, transportation, and daily living. What we're going to focus on today is the later Industrial Revolution. Farming was no longer needed as much because of the Agricultural Revolution, therefore many people were out of work. People moved from rural areas to cities because of the promise of work. The only issue was too many people made this move. Because cities were often less spacious than rural areas, this led to overpopulation. With such crampedness comes poor conditions. And with these poor conditions comes unhappy people, diseases, and poverty. Not only did the living conditions suck, so did the work. People would do back-breaking, tedious work for pennies an hour. The factories were hot, cramped, and not to mention hazardous. Injuries to workers were extremely prevalent, and child labor was so huge. Children would crawl under machines and retrieve bits of cotton, which is so dangerous. The machines had no emergency buttons, so in case of an emergency, there was nothing they could do. This led to loss of arms, legs, fingers, etc. The pollution in the air also led to something called mill fever, which took the lives of many. All of this extreme hazard and underpayment led to many decisions on the unfairness of the system. The economic system these factories ran under is called capitalism. In its most simplest form, it can be explained as a production of goods being privately owned and operated for profit. The government can't control how the business runs, or what the owners do with their profit. Today, we are still under capitalism, but thank God there's a minimum wage and laws on how they can run it. During the Industrial Revolution, the owners paid the workers pennies an hour so that they would make a better profit. This enraged many people and led to many writers and philosophers trying to change this unjust system. One of those people being Karl Marx, who is going to be one of our other main subjects today. Marx was born into the revolution, and when he grew older, he began to speak out against capitalism. He actually had to flee Germany because his views weren't valued there, and he had to move to Britain. Karl Marx thought there was 4 main things wrong with capitalism. Number 1, modern work is alienated. This means that since everything is so efficient and quick, workers feel that their contribution is less than it used to be, leading to alienation. Number 2, modern work is insecure. Capitalism makes workers feel expendable. Workers get paid little while capitalists get rich. This is what many call primitive accumulation, shrinking workers' pay for more money for yourself. Karl Marx stated that profit is theft. Number 3, capitalism is very unstable. Capitalist crises are often crises of abundance rather than shortage. Karl Marx thought that the factories are so effective that everyone in the world can be given what they need. The efficiency led to less need for work, hence less money for others. Karl Marx thought that unemployment was freedom and that there was no need to complain. He argued that unemployment should be a luxury. Number 4, capitalism is bad for capitalists. Karl Marx said that marriage was an extension of business and that capitalism made people so financially concerned they forget to love in their life. This is what many call commodity fetishism or Warenfetismus. This type of financial worries made people value things that have no objective value. Karl Marx wanted no private property, no inherited wealth, a centralized control of banking, communication, and transport industries, and free public education. Karl Marx wanted a classless society. In the Communist Manifesto, Marx theorized that economics was in fact the driving force in history. He stated that there was a history of class struggles between have and have-nots. The haves were the bourgeoisie, and the have-nots were the proletariat, or the working class. Eventually, Marx gained the support of many. In Western Europe, communism started to pop up. Even so, many argue that Karl Marx was wrong. Contrary to what he said, the standard of working class did improve drastically, and people felt strong ties to their country more than any other workers' movement. Eventually, countries that had experimented using communism were moving away from it and adding free market capitalism. While some of these things like public education seem like nothing now, in Karl Marx's time, it was not even thought about. Because of all of his quite radical ideas, he was not popular in his day. Karl Marx is known as the father of communism. You may be wondering, what is communism? Communism is the ideology that everyone is equal. There is no private businesses and the government has control. The main issues that people have with communism are workers don't have enough initiative to work hard, there is abundance in certain things while shortages in others, and in the 20th century it led to a lot of deaths. Rulers like Joseph Stalin and Chairman Mao were the reason for more than 85 million deaths in the 20th century. Our own country is opposed to communism. We fought in what is one of the most controversial wars in U.S. history, the Vietnam War. So to wrap everything up, here are a few of Karl Marx's most famous quotes. History repeats itself. First is tragedy, second is farce. Men make their own history, but they do not make it as they please. Workers of the world unite. You have nothing to lose but your chains. The production of too many useful things results in too many useless people. The philosophers have only interpreted the world in various ways. The point, however, is to change it. Thanks so much for watching!